Hi, my name is Judie VanKooiman, and you're watching Life Issues. March show is Embrace Pathways, and my guests are Gabriela, Clinic Director, and Camila, Therapist and Supervisor. Welcome, ladies. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
My pleasure. Gabriela, I'm going to start with you. What is Embrace Pathways?
So Embrace Pathways is a mental health clinic licensed through the Department of Public Health of Massachusetts. So we are also accredited by the Joint Commission Accreditation.
Okay. And how long have you been in existence?
So we are actually celebrating 5 years this month. We've been working with the community. We started small and we are in business for 5 years.
Why was it started, the organization?
So Embrace started with the need for providing quality service to the minority population. I actually started in a private practice, and then I've noticed that I was receiving too many referrals, more referrals that I could handle. And then from a private practice, went to a group practice that when Camila joined us. And from the group practice, we expand to the clinic. And now we have just under 40 providers, yes, providing service to the community. So we are growing, and we are looking forward to have more providers to be able to provide more services to the people on our waiting list.
That's great. And they all specialize, I'm sure, in different things.
Yes,
and
so
speak different languages.
exactly.
Yes.
So we provide services in like Portuguese, Spanish, Haitian Creole, French, Armenian, Russian, German. So it's several different languages. It's all on our website, but we do try to have a variety of professionals with different cultural backgrounds to provide services, because I think Massachusetts is one of the states that have more diversity in terms of people from all of around the world. So it's very important to have people with different cultural backgrounds that understand where the individual is coming from.
And Camila, what is your mission?
So our mission at Embrace is to provide high quality care to minority communities and population. My personal mission works well with that because I feel very privileged as an immigrant to have been able to have high education and build a career. So I love giving back to my community, give cultural competence services, and even provide therapy in their own native language when needed.
Very nice. That's very good. And Camila, what services does Embrace Pathways provide?
So we provide outpatient therapy to individuals, adults, kids, adolescents, couples, and families. We're looking to expand some of those services, and I think Gabriela can speak to that a little bit more.
Yeah, so we actually are applying to provide outreach services, which will be services that will be going to be going out in the community, such as in-home therapy services, therapeutic mentoring services. So those are services provided through Mass Health. It's called CBHI, which is a Child Behavioral Health Initiative. So it's for kids 21 and under, and we provide, it's a higher level of care than outpatient. So you provide more intensive care services for the families that need it. So we are in the process of starting those services as well.
Okay, good. And what ways does Embrace Pathways support, Camila?
So we offer support through therapy, telehealth, and in person. We also try to match our clients' needs to our clinicians' specializations or cultural background. We have a lot of clinicians that speak other languages, so we try to accommodate those needs of our families too.
Okay, great. And Gabriela, what is your background experience?
So I'm actually a psychologist in Brazil. So I graduated in Brazil, became a psychologist, and I moved to the US in 2003. So I had to took me a while to kind of understand how this process is in the US. I had to go back to school, pursue my master's degree, and then I became a licensed mental health counselor. So I'm a licensed mental health counselor since 2017. That's when I actually started, investing in that career and understanding how my cultural background and how my experience could help the community that I belong to.
Okay. And what is your current role?
So as of right now, I'm the clinic director, so I oversee everything within the agency, but I do also provide supervision to clinicians and other interns at the agency as well.
Okay, so pretty big role.
Yes, I can be the secretary also if secretary doesn't show up for the day.
She does it all.
But very important roles there and stuff. So, Gabriela, what is the Department of Immigration Evaluation?
So the Department of Immigration Evaluation is something that is very specialized in the services that we provide for immigrants who are pursuing their permanent visa in the U.S. So it's composed by 3 people, including me. So it's usually done between 2 to 3 sessions with the individual that requested. It usually lasts 1.5 to 2 hours each session, and after that we provide a comprehensive report that could go from 25 to 40 pages long, and it's usually given a referral from a lawyer, that someone that has like a hardship waiver or VAWA, or someone that needs that evaluation to support their immigration case.
Okay. And Camila, what is your background experience?
So I got my BA in psychology from UMass Boston. Then I graduated in 2008. Then I got my master's in clinical social work from Simmons, and I graduated in 2013. After that, I worked at a nonprofit doing in-home therapy with children and families for about 4.5 years. I mostly worked with Spanish and Portuguese speaking families. Then I worked for another 4 years doing outpatient with adults at a Portuguese mental health clinic at the hospital. And then after that, I've been at Embrace doing outpatient with a wider population as far as age and culture, and also doing supervision.
Awesome. Great.
Long journey.
Both of you, that's great. And Camila, what is mental health?
So I think the term itself actually tells us what it is. However, when we say mental health, unfortunately, comes with a lot of stigma, and it shouldn't. Just like we take care of our physical health, and we are proud to say that we're taking care of our bodies, we should be proud to say that we're taking care of our minds and our emotion and our thoughts. Because just like a physical illness could limit what we do, could really hinder and affect our quality of life, so could our mental health. We could have a very healthy body, but if our mind is unhealthy, it will really affect our quality of life. So I think it's really taking care of our mind, which means addressing our thoughts, our feelings. So yeah, that's mental health for me.
Okay, right, great. And how does someone know if they are going through mental illness?
Again, I always like to compare with our physical health because we just accept that so easily and we understand it. And I think talking about mental health is a newer thing that people are becoming more open, thankfully, about it. But just like we look for physical symptoms, that something's not right with our body, when something is taking too long or is too intense or we're going out of our way to manage, right? We all have a headache from time to time, but if it's every day, if it's really strong, if it's hard to manage, we go seek help. If it's affecting our daily routine. So same thing with our mental health. If we're seeing signs and symptoms and things that are becoming too intense, so we all have sadness, we all have worry from time to time. But if it's all the time, it's really intense, it's really affecting how we function, our jobs, our relationships, we really need to then go seek help. We're probably struggling with a mental illness. And I think some symptoms to look for would be any changes in your mood, irritability, ability to concentrate, desire to isolate. Those are all things to look for if those are getting too intense to really seek help.
Okay, thank you. And Gabriela, when we were in lockdown at the beginning of COVID, people said that they were going through mental illness. Why?
Yes, and of course, people were isolated, right? So we are not meant to be isolated. We are meant to be in society and have that relationship. So it's not surprising that people are just feeling that something is not right. Why should I need to be locked in my house? Why cannot be going to work? Why my kids are not going to school? And also on top of that, the uncertainty, right? We don't know what's coming. So at the beginning, we didn't know how long this was going to last, how this was going to affect us, how serious was this virus that was coming. So everybody was like trying to figure this out. So the uncertainty will bring a lot of anxiety to people. You know, kids being at home, and then after that going to online schooling, and parents trying to manage their kids being at home and trying to work remotely. So all of that change in the routine, trying to make that change that for something that works for the family. So all of that, of course, brought a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression, a lot of other feelings that people are not used to it. And also that time that you just like isolated, so you have more time to think. You have more time to be with yourself, and sometimes it's hard for people to be with themselves. So that will bring a lot of, mental challenges for most people.
Okay. And Gabriela, why would children be going through mental illness?
So we need to think that children is just like other, adult and mental illness. As Camila was saying, we can just think just like a physical health. Just like children can be, let's say, diagnosed with diabetes, right? They can be diagnosed with anxiety or depression. So sometimes we think about mental illness as something that is really bad. We cannot, a child cannot have depression, but a child can have depression as they can have other diagnosis, just like a physical diagnosis. So, and one of the things that I think it's also increasing that we are seeing today in today's age is like, of course, social media and people being exposed to, screen time and all of that. So I think it's a combination of so many things. But in general, I would say like mental illness can be diagnosed just like any other physical diagnosis as well.
Okay. And Camila, what if someone has suicidal thoughts? What should they do?
So again, it's a sign that something's not okay, right? I was talking about we have to pay attention to the signs and symptoms, our bodies and our minds. And suicidal thoughts go against our instinct of survival. So that's a big sign. Something's not okay. So they should definitely seek help immediately. There are suicidal hotlines they can call. There is a suicidal and support text line that's actually very popular with the younger population now. They can call 911, go to the closest emergency room. Sometimes they need help reaching out for those supports, so they might go to a family or friend, and that person can help them get connected with services. They can always call their PCP, primary care provider, to get a referral, or even while in the office, they always have mental health providers that can do a consultation and maybe check in until they are connected with a longer term service. But definitely don't ignore it. Try to avoid feeling guilty about it. It's just a sign that we need help like any other sign, and definitely get help.
Okay, great. And Camila, what is postpartum depression?
So it's when a woman is experiencing depression symptoms after giving birth, although some symptoms could start in pregnancy. The biggest factor is the change in hormonal levels. So it is a serious mental illness. It definitely needs help. A lot of things are happening that moment, a lot of changes that are contributing to a woman having those symptoms, low mood, feeling like they can't do, feeling overwhelmed or feeling empty. And there is the talk of baby blues, and a lot of women feel the baby blues, yes, but if it's lasting longer than 2 weeks, you should definitely get help. It shouldn't be, and it's not normal for a woman to feel sad and empty because they're a mother. So there's a lot of changes going on, and we definitely need the support. And especially with such busy lives, or I've worked a lot with the immigrant community, they don't have a lot of family. So it can be very lonely, very overwhelming. And those are big factors and stressors that contribute to the symptoms lasting longer and being more intense. So get professional help.
Yeah, and that feeling that now there is a human being on my lap and I don't know how to take care of.
Right.
So it's a huge challenge. And I remember when I had 2 kids, back to back. So they are 12 and 13 now, but they're 15 months apart. When I had my second, I felt really stressed and overwhelmed because I had 2 babies to take care of. So this is really common. So don't hesitate to reach out if you need help. And as Camila was saying, with the community that we belong to, sometimes we don't have as many family members and friends that could help. So definitely a support system is really important for postpartum depression.
I would even suggest to, if anyone is pregnant and is watching, try to get a referral when you're still pregnant. Because even if you don't develop a postpartum depression, it is a very difficult and challenging transition. And nowadays, the demand is so high and there's long wait times. So I think it would be very smart to get a referral when you're still pregnant and everything is beautiful and it's great, and even preparing for that transition. And so when you are going through that phase that is challenging, sleep deprivation is a thing.
That's a huge thing. That was
so even if it's just to get support on those days that you're feeling overwhelmed and tired, it could help even prevent developing that.
Right.
definitely.
Yeah. And Camila, what are some things people can do if they feel overwhelmed?
So like Gabriela said, we're not meant to be alone, right? I think really try to stay connected with family and friends. With our busy lives, working, from home, a lot of people now, we really have to be intentional to stay connected. It's not just happening so naturally anymore. And we do better as a community. So stay connected, make time, make a priority to take care of your health, physical health, mental health, whether it's keeping up with physical and mental provider appointments, doing things that will promote, positive feelings, and that will promote just a healthier living for you.
That's good. Gabriela, is there anything else you would like to share about mental illness?
Yeah, I'd just like to reinforce the fact that don't be ashamed. Reach out for help if you need help. I think Camila gave a very good suggestion. Like if you feel like you start having some symptoms, reach out for help. Put your name on a wait list. Most places they would have a wait list, so sometimes you're not gonna get an appointment right away. So when you see the first signs, just reach out for help. We are here for you. We are here to help people. And don't wait too long. So that will be my recommendation. Don't wait for things to get to the point that it's like, I can't handle this anymore. So when you see like the first signs within yourself, or any friend or family member, or even your children, if you see like something is different, something doesn't feel right, don't hesitate to reach out, because there is help out there, and it's really important that you seek help.
I would just like to add to that. I feel that with mental health symptoms, we tend to dismiss them a lot. With physical symptoms is, more clear, and we're open. With mental health, oh, I'm just stressed. Oh, it's just this. And then it gets a lot more severe later, and then you want to get help. So don't dismiss, don't minimize. If you feel something's off, just go talk to someone.
Definitely.
Okay, great. And Gabriela, if anyone has any questions about anything that we've talked about tonight, can you please give us your contact info?
Sure, yeah. So they can look us on our website. It's embracepathways.com. We are also on Instagram, Facebook, at Embrace Pathways. they can give us a call to our office. It's 617-804-2773. We are actually open from Monday through Saturday. So during the weekdays, we open until 7. And they can also email us at info@embracepathways.com.
Okay, awesome. I'm sorry, but that's all the time that we have. Thank you both for all you do for those in need. I'd love to hear your thoughts and suggestions. Please send them to lifeissuestv@gmail.com. And remember, live each day to the fullest and celebrate life.